Making history, the first woman, an African American, to lead the Library of Congress is sworn in today. And Dr. Carla Hayden spent the last several years leading the Pratt Library system here in Baltimore. And WJZ's
Well, I was very fortunate that I was able to have a childhood rooted in the family home of Illinois. However, I was born in Tallahassee, Florida, on the campus of Florida A&M, a historically black college where my dad was recruited to teach. My passion for libraries and information really started with my love of reading and books. My parents were both musicians, and just like they could read notes on a page and hear music, I could look at text and hear words. And so they encouraged that. And it was later on in life that I found out, wow, there's a profession that allows you to be around books, share books with other people. I would say a defining moment that made me realize the power of being a librarian, especially working with young people, was when I got the job as a library associate, and they put me on the south side of Chicago in a small storefront. And I was assigned with a young lady who was going to graduate library school. She was on the ground telling stories to children with autism in the inner city. And I said, well, this is different. That's when I got hooked. And by the end of the week, having people come in with, all different types of needs. Could you read this to me? I got this. Or how do I fill out this? All of these questions. I said, this is really something, that you're in the heart of a community and they trust you and you have the resources and you can help them. Even though I spent most of my formative years in Illinois, I knew about Baltimore as I became a professional librarian because the Enoch Pratt Free Library in Baltimore was the home of serving teenagers. And it was such an honor when I was asked to head up the Enoch Pratt Free Library. And I ended up being adopted by the city, and I'm still a Baltimore resident. Even though I'm a professional librarian, I never thought about being at the Library of Congress in an employment situation because there was a mystique about it, even in our profession. It was just for scholars, it was kind of buttoned up, but I was part of a group of librarians who were asked to think about what the Library of Congress could be in the future. I always say now, watch out what you say, because you might be asked to do it. And that's exactly what happened. And I had to really think about it because my whole professional career was more about outreach and being inclusive and all of that. And I wondered, well, what could I do there? And then the president at the time asked me, could you open up this treasure chest? I remember being nominated, and I definitely remember the Senate confirmation process. And I do remember when we got the vote count. And so I was at home with my mom, just the two of us, and it was raining. And when it got to 51, the sky really opened up. And my mom said, those are the tears of our ancestors. Well, it just really grabs you, and that's why my mom said that, because my ancestors were forbidden to read by law. And here is this person who looks like me heading up the largest library in the world.
So help me God.
So help me God. As the 14th Librarian of Congress since 1802, my number one goal was to find ways to share what the Library of Congress had and does with as many people as possible, and to make them feel a sense of ownership, because it is a national library. It's their tax dollars that pay for this. The thing that keeps me motivated the most is when I see not only staff getting excited or coming up with cool ideas, is when I see the public responding. When they go into that treasures gallery and they look at those glasses from Lincoln's pocket, or they look at the family tree and you see a family unite, didn't know each other. When you see the public reaction, that's what gets you going. My tenure is in an interesting time, and especially when things feel a little topsy-turvy, or you want to solve the problems of the world. Well, you might not be able to solve all the problems, but in your lane or what you do, if you could do something, that's very satisfying. Being a visionary means being able to imagine what would be helpful to other people, and using the arts in all its forms to help people unleash their potential in terms of opening up worlds for other people, and to be able to see and select things that will help somebody on their journey